Alright guys, welcome to another video. Guys, we're in one of my favorite spots, back to one of my favorite roads. Yeah, we're gonna take this thing on a nice drive today. I'm looking for that perfect window, as you guys know, as other car people. It's nice to have some space from you in the car in front of you, but guys, we're up in Pinkham Notch, beautiful Pinkham Notch, and it's cold. I'm maybe not on the best tires, so we're not gonna go max, but we're still gonna enjoy the car. We're gonna feel what it's all about. We got that rear sway bar, and basically that's the whole premise of this video. All right, I think I like that. I like that. No one's coming. We can go a little slow. We can chat a little bit, and then we'll romp on it. But anyway, guys, we got the rear sway bar and the IE rear sway bar. We've also upgraded the end links as well, so we are good to go as far as the rear end goes. Not too much else that I would really want to do. The only thing I held off on was the front sway bar. I'm probably going to throw that in a couple weeks. There is a shop that will do it. It's my dealership, as it happens. So we'll get that thing in, and you know, this thing will be a beast. But as far as things go, initial impressions with this rear sway bar, holy hell, it's so unbelievably planted. I mean, there's no nonsense when I turn the wheel. It's so direct, and you really feel it at the limit, which, you know, in most cases, a lot of you guys shouldn't be driving at the limit, but hey, you're on the right closed course, you're on a racetrack, that's where you're really gonna feel it. But with that being said, even on some back roads, you can still feel it doing something, and that's the most impressive thing about this. And I never believed in sway bars. I was the biggest, I don't want to say hater, but I was certainly a doubter. I was a doubter. I never really believed in, you know, any of the the technology that really goes into these things until I finally put it on my car, and let me tell you, it's really impressive. Now, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a day and night difference. There are mods out there that feel like a day and night difference, but for this type of performance that you're trying to get, these cars are already so great. Elevate it to the next level. I'm sure you guys have driven your cars, you know, if you have lowering springs and you lowered your car yourself, you felt the before and after. I want to say it's pretty similar to that. It's really quite cool how dramatically this does change the car. Now, that being said, it's not necessarily a day and night difference. You won't feel it day-to-day driving, but at the limit, you'll really feel it. And it's really kind of how this car carries through and maintains its speed going around corners. So it's very impressive. I'm very happy with this this install. So all right, now these roads, also a good road to kind of test this out, but given the status of my tires, road's a little cold. I don't have as much tread as I want in the front, so we're gonna wait till I throw on my new tires, and then, you know, I know it'll be a little colder probably by that time, but I'll feel a little bit more confident in the car. That's the most important thing. You want to have driver confidence when you push your car, you know, closer to the limit. Like I said, I'm not gonna go full limit today, but we're still gonna have some fun. Now, I'll tell you one thing that you know, it's been a year since I've driven on this road, and right off the bat, I could feel the car. You know, the rear sway bar is definitely working, and it feels great. But the most important thing is this steering wheel. Oh my God, I put this thing, I think, in July, and I love it. I could never have a stock steering wheel. I need to have this type of shape. It felt weird kind of just daily driving it for the first week, but then you get kind of used to where to hold it, and I don't like to touch the Alcantara, so I'm always touching the carbon fiber. Just obviously you can't really wear that down, so I don't know, just there's some minor differences from my last drive on this road. You know, off camera I could really enjoy it, but for the sake of YouTube and remaining monetized, let's kind of keep it a little under the radar. But yeah, no, this car, it feels so good. We're coming up on some really nice corners, and you'll really, I mean, I hope this video will kind of translate, at least from my reaction, how this car performs, because it's really impressive. I know not everyone likes the pops. I kind of can't get over them. There's no nonsense. It's just... it's... God, guys. This thing's a weapon. I can't imagine with this type of modification, a rear sway bar, what that would do to a GTI, because those cars feel really good around corners. This, I don't feel like I'm really using any Haldex. I think I'm still front wheel drive for most of it. You know, if maybe traction off, it'd be a different story, but you know, the car would just be all over the place. caught up to the other cars. Let's enjoy this last one. Oh my God. Oh, guys. What did I do to this thing? It's so good. It's so good. I'm speechless. I am so impressed with how this thing handles, and I'm bummed I didn't wait till, you know, I'm bummed I waited up until this point, you know, because I don't think I'll probably hold on to the car much longer, and that's the saddest thing, because it's been a great car. It's been a fantastic car, and I kind of think, why am I selling it? Well, the real reason, guys, is I'm worried about where the car market's going. I don't think I'll be able to drive all my dream cars 20 years time, you know, and I can't keep things. I have to kind of just learn to let go. So that being said, I will be in another Golf. It's just not going to be my next car. I'm going to probably jump into something a little bit more rear-wheel drive. And if you guys have any recommendations or anything like that, you know, I always listen to what you guys say, and any recommendations you may have, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. Oh my God, you know those pops are loud. Hold on, here we go. Let's get some pops. That does not get old. But no, this thing, I mean, it's just so compliant. Is that the word? Is that the one I'm gonna go for? I think so. It really does feel good. And you know, it's tough to kind of translate this into a video. I could have done maybe a before and after. If you ever see cars do slalom tests, I've done so much research on sway bars, and I've kind of warmed up to them a little bit until I finally put it in the car. Now I completely understand why people do it. And it's a cheap mod. I mean, it's less than 300 bucks, maybe 300 bucks total. And I recommend the end links. The end links are huge. I switched out my end links to of course, the IE ones. IE makes metal end links, which is the most important thing, because the OEM ones, they're plastic. And my bushing was shot. I mean, there was a lot of things going against my old setup, and it's just wear and tear is obviously a big factor. But I'm very impressed with how this thing drives now. It is so amazing, and I'm excited to kind of see what the front sway bar will do. That being said, if you guys are choosing front sway bar, rear sway bar, what should I go with? In most cases, you're gonna get really, really lucky with a rear sway bar. You don't really need the front one. I'm gonna still throw the front one in, because I have a feeling it's probably gonna give me that initial, you know, because this already feels pretty alert, and it's mostly when I'm, you know, carrying through. You know, this type of stuff, I don't feel it, but I feel like if, you know, I would feel it a little bit better with a front sway bar. But with a rear sway bar, again, if I kind of, you know, more kind of cornering like that, this guy probably thinks I'm insane. But you guys know what I'm saying. It would be so much better. Again, I feel like there'd be a little bit more initial directness with the front sway bar, so we'll see. I haven't done too much research on those. All I can tell you is this rear sway bar is all you need. And if you want to go crazy, do the front one as well. But yeah, I'm happy, guys. I mean, it's a mod I recommend anyone to do. It's really transforms the way the car drives, and there's really no trade-offs. You're really not, you know, taking away from the ride quality. The ride quality is still, in my case, not the greatest. And a lot of that's the wheels, the tire setup, and of course my lowering springs. You know, I think I've harped on this in too many videos, and I need to kind of need to move away from ragging on the ride quality, just because I chose this. If you know, going back, I'd do it a little differently. But you know, it was a cost-efficient way back in the day, you know, 2 years ago when I did decide to drop this. But yeah, there's really no trade-offs, guys, and you get a really sweet setup. So overall, the install was kind of easy. In fact, I'll insert a couple clips right here just so you guys can see what we ran into. There you go.
Let's see, point for point. Right here.
Yep. Yeah, it's a pretty dramatic difference.
Just a little bit. So, you remember I was telling you, you know, 2 millimeters makes a huge difference on stiffness.
Oh, no doubt, yeah. All right, this bad Larry is on. We've done some, well, it looks like the hardware's on there pretty nice.
Yeah,
right?
it's like nice right there. So, oh yeah, that's tight.
Yeah, and the I think when I get home, I'm gonna tighten these up with some load on it.
Do you want to explain what happened here?
Yeah, so obviously I mean, I stated this on Instagram. A lot of people were kind of giving me some flack for that one bolt, but as we found out, it was galvanized to the stock end link, and fortunately, I replaced the end links anyway to the IE metal ones. But yeah, we ended up just using the hardware that was provided. But yeah, it was tough, and we had to shave that bad boy down.
We had to massage it a little, just put it that way. But
anyone can do this install. It should really only take an hour, as long as your bolts are not seized that connect your end link in. That's the only thing I can imagine you'd ever run into. And my issue is a little unique, just because when I did my lowering springs, yes, jumping back to that, I didn't tighten the bolts with load on the car. So there was no, or sorry, load on the suspension. I just basically tighten it up with the car in the air. You really need to tighten every bolt up with the car on the ground, just to ensure that everything's tight, because it's a different story when it's up in the air versus when it's on the ground. So something to bear in mind, I guess, when you do your lowering springs, and of course when you install the sway bar, because that also goes to, you know, you are still taking off your end link bolt. You want to make sure that's really tight when you reinstall. So hopefully this kind of gives you guys a little idea. If you haven't done one of these to your car, I recommend doing it. It goes such a long way. IE, they hit it out of the park every single time. I'm very impressed with this. I know there's other reputable brands out there too, but this is tried and true. I mean, take it from me, guys. I'm really impressed with this car. I've owned this car for the longest time. I could tell you from nearly 4 years of ownership, and let's just call 3.5, and then up to the 3.5 point, I decided to throw this thing in just before I go to sell it. Unfortunately, I don't get to experience this car for too longer with this rear sway bar, but I'll tell you, from the amount of time that I had this car without the sway bar, I look back and I regret not even doing it. It's definitely something you really want to kind of do ahead of time. Why not? You know, it's not going to hurt, and it only makes the car drive better. So hopefully this answers some questions. If you guys have any more questions, do leave a comment down below. I'm happy to answer anything. And oh, fun fact about Pete, I actually used to work there. Not there, but there. Storyland, Glen, New Hampshire. Good times. Anyway, I will probably end it here. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace and love.